Revolutionary greetings, comrades. Our slogan as communists is that communist cadres to the front. When we say communist cadres to the front, is that the communists must participate in community activities. Communists must work within communities to find solution to societal issues. It is in this background that the Zimbabwe Communist Party works in communities in Zimbabwe. When we launched our Red October campaign in 2019 in Gweru, we said, uh, know your neighbor, build your community. But because we have also understood that the working class from Zimbabwe is also in the diaspora, is in South Africa, the Zimbabwe Communist Party has to play a critical role to organize Zimbabweans in South Africa, hence the establishment of the Zimbabwe community in South Africa, which continues to play a key role in South Africa as it mobilizes Zimbabweans, issues around documentations, issues around accommodation, and the other societal issues that Zimbabweans are confronted with, issues around social cohesion, because workers, as we all know as communists, is that they do not have borders. Workers do not have a country. The capitalist system has made it that workers would sell their labor to the highest bidder, be in their countries of origin where they are born, or where industries are functioning. Like this is why you have Zimbabweans coming to South Africa. So one of the issues that we then did was that through a community organization, because the Zimbabwe Communist Party is a vanguard, and part of our vanguard role is to work with society within the our communities. So, Comrade Bongani Mkwananzi, who had serious problems in Deep Sloot, we have been working with the communities in Deep Sloot. We have been working with the comrades from the South African Communist Party who are resident in Deep Sloot. You'll recall that the Zimbabwe community in South Africa had an anti-crime summit in Hillbrow, where a number of organizations were invited, including the South African Communist Party, NEHAWU, a Communist Party of Swaziland, COSATU, and the other organizations, to say we are not safe in our communities. Let us come up with the strategies of dealing with the crime. We did invite members of the South African Police Service from the Gauteng province. They were there in the anti-crime summit that was held in April in 2019. So the idea was to roll out these anti-crime initiatives, hence the reason why Comrade Bongani Mkwananzi was deployed in Deep Sloot to work with the comrades, to work with the community leaders in Deep Sloot to find solution, because the issue of crime in Deep Sloot did not arise in 2022. It has always been a problematic in Deep Sloot. You remember there was a time when a police officer was murdered in Deep Sloot. It was then that we deployed Comrade Bongani Mkwananzi to work in Deep Sloot. So when this violence started in Deep Sloot, which led to the unfortunate death of Mr. Elvis Nyati from Zimbabwe, the ministers of Home Affairs and the police had to visit Deep Sloot. It was then that the comrades, South African comrades for that matter, who are part of the community in Deep Sloot, who are leading the community in Deep Sloot, invited Comrade Bongani Mkwananzi to a meeting, a stakeholders meeting. So he asked if it was safe for him to attend that meeting. So Comrade Bongani was assured that it was safe for him to attend a stakeholders meeting, because community leaders were going to be addressed by ministers. There was going to be this engagement. So they insisted that he should attend the meeting. It was in this background that then Comrade Bongani took a decision, because he received an invitation. It's not that Comrade Bongani Mkwananzi read in the media that there's going to be a meeting in Deep Sloot, therefore he wanted to attend. So he did so because we have always insisted that the communist cadres must be in the front of any struggle in our society, be it community engagement, be in churches, be in business, in every area communist cadres must take a leading role. This is important, so that our communities are not led by people or right-wing elements. It is very critical that the communists must take the lead in society. The ANC, after one of its national executive meeting, resolved that the migration issue, the discussion on migration issue must be led by the ANC. The ANC, as a former liberation movement, must not run around right-wing formations on the issue of migration. It should actually take the lead. This is the resolution of the African National Congress in one of its NEC. So the Zimbabwe Communist Party and the South African Communist Party, comrades, understand this, that communist cadres must be in the front of the struggle of the working class and peasants. So the South African Communist Party comrades invited Comrade Bongani, Mazwi, Mkwananzi. What we are then reading in the media is that Comrade Mazwi Mkwananzi was chased away by the minister in that public meeting. It is not correct. What happened is that when they were inside the hall where the media was not in, Comrade Bongani Mazwi Mkwananzi raised his hand like any participant in the meeting to also contribute. Unfortunately, the crowd was not welcoming, and it led to a very sad situation where he had to be escorted by the police to leave the venue. And the Minister of Home Affairs, Dr. Aaron Motsoaledi, had to follow him outside to understand how he came into this meeting. So as the Zimbabwe Communist Party, we stand in solidarity with Comrade Bongani Mazwi Mkwananzi, because what he did not go there to disrespect anyone. He went there as per invitation because Comrade Bongani was deployed by the party. He was deployed by the Zimbabwe community in South Africa to work with the comrades on the ground so that we build safe communities. It is critical that we promote social cohesion, and we cannot promote social cohesion when we migrants organizations do not work with the local South Africans. It is important that we work with local South Africans if we are to promote social cohesion. So we are in solidarity with the Comrade Mazwi Mkwananzi, and we call on the progressive South Africans also to ensure that we are part of these community initiatives so that we isolate criminals in communities, so that the debate on migration, the debate on any societal issue, it is led by communities in communities. I see Comrade Arineza here writes, Corporate Arineza Dikesai says, the way these people are acting in Operation Tudula, it is very sad that we lose our relative. They just want to steal people's property. Well, it's said we condemn any violent attack, be it attack directed to South Africans, be it attacks directed to migrants. We condemn that. So we needed to clarify that communists work in communities. Comrade Bongani was not wrong. He went to a community where he is deployed to work in. He's not working alone. He is working with the comrades who are South Africans in Diepsloot. And it is these comrades that invited Comrade Bongani Mazwi Mkwananzi to be in that meeting. What happened is very unfortunate, but we'll continue to work in all communities. We must work in all communities, be it Alexandra, or have been to Kwamashu, where we've held peace meetings together with the likes of Comrade Pretty Mncube. We've held peace meetings in Kwamashu. I've personally been deployed at some point in Kwamashu, in Durban, to specifically to set up peace committees and build social cohesion so that we live peacefully. In 2020, we went to, as part of the African Diaspora Forum, again, as part of building social cohesion, we met with the Secretariat of the Governing Alliance in Durban, the Professional Secretary of the African National Congress, the Professional Secretary of COSATU, and the Professional Secretary of the South African Communist Party, as part of building this social cohesion, because we had gone then when violence had broken out in Durban. So we went as the leadership of the African Diaspora Forum because we understand that it is critical that we work in communities for us to promote social cohesion, for us to build peaceful communities. Please, comrades, share your views. As we said earlier on, we want everyone to contribute in building peace in our communities. So share your views on how you want to contribute, whether you're in Tembisa, whether you're in Kaelicha, whether you are in Bulawayo, whether you're in Harare. Borders are artificial. Like I've said, that workers have no country. What is important, as we resolved in the Red October campaign in Gweru 2019, we said, know your neighbor, build your community. So you cannot build a community if you do not know your neighbor. So the first thing that is needed is that you must know your neighbor. Once you know your neighbor, you must then work together with your neighbors to build communities or to build your community. And you must build a community that is progressive, a community that is in peace with self, a community that shares together resources. So this is not about only communities in South Africa. It is about communities in Zimbabwe. It is about our communities in Africa. The African Union resolved in one of its summit or came up with a theme which says silencing the guns. You cannot silence the guns if you do not know your neighbor, if you are not part of a community initiative. Please share with us your views and please subscribe to this YouTube channel. Thank you, comrades. Aman.